All right, since we're on a break from NHL action because of the Four Nations tournament, let's get caught up with all things Rangers with my guy, Johnny Lazarus of the Daily Faceoff. Jay Lazzy, how's it going, my man? We're going to call this the State of the Rangers address with President Lazzy. What's going on, Johnny?
That's high praise. Thank you for having me, Brandon. I appreciate it. It's nice to have a couple weeks off from NHL action and get to see the best on best. I'm fired up for Four Nations, so it should be a great 2 weeks.
All right, let's talk Rangers hockey right here. As you know, everyone watching this knows it's kind of been like an up and down season for the Rangers. How would you sum that up so far with what you've seen?
Well, there's been way more downs than ups, which we're not used to saying, I think, at least for the most part, here in New York watching the Rangers. But I still do think there are a lot of positives to take away and things to look forward to. The Eastern Conference right now, most people would say there's a lot of parity, but I think it's a lot of mediocrity. And the Rangers, while they do fall in that, they could rise above it. Last year after All-Star break, they were struggling. They were 5-7-2 from the turn of the calendar into All-Star break last year, and Igor Shesterkin was playing his worst hockey, probably of his career at that point. And I know this team isn't last year's team, but that team came out of All-Star break and went on a 9-game winning streak. They won 10 out of 11. They were on fire. So you never know what a little break can do and what it can do to rejuvenate a group like the Rangers. I think it gives more time for J.T. Miller to get more comfortable with, Adam Fox, Vinny Trocheck, and Chris Kreider, who he's playing with on Team USA. Mika Zibanejad playing for Team Sweden during the Four Nations break could, start to get his motor going a little bit more, playing for his country. There are a lot of things that you can take away as positives. And to me, one of those positives is that the Eastern Conference is wide open. Outside of Washington, it's up for grabs. The Capitals have had a really strong season, but to me, they're still beatable. And all the Rangers need to do is find a way to get into the playoffs, and anything can happen from there.
You mentioned J.T. Miller. I asked a lot of Giants fans who, as you know, are Rangers fans, that I told them I was going to be talking to you today, and I was like, give me a question to ask my boy Jay Lazzy. They wanted to know, how would you rate the addition of J.T. Miller?
I think it's been great. I think if I'm giving a letter grade right now, it's just an A minus, but I still think that's really positive. JT Miller to me is a culture changer, a guy who shifts the identity of a locker room and an organization. And that's what the Rangers are trying to do. They're trying to rebrand themselves on the fly. Bringing in a guy as fiery as him, as skilled as him. He is a first line center right now that can, be the first guy in on the forecheck. He can fight, he can hit, he can score, he can outskill his opponent. He does a little bit of everything. And the Rangers have been a little bit soft to play against in the past few years. And I think JT Miller just makes them a harder team to play against. And that's all you want come playoff time. JT is also, from what I've seen so far, a leader in the room, a guy that demands respect and has gotten it so far from his teammates too. And I think it helps having Vinny Trocheck here to, maybe help smoothen that transition for him and, allow his teammates to get used to his personality. And so far from what I've seen through the first few games, it's been a pretty strong fit.